5 a.m. I'm up with a crisp Celsius energy drink. Running 12 miles today. Grab a green juice, quick change, and head to work. Meetings, workshops. One more Celsius, no slowing down. Working late, but obviously still meeting the girls for a little dancing. Celsius. Live, fit, go. Grab a cold, refreshing Celsius at your local retailer or locate now at Celsius.com.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Kyle, I've got it. I just added a section to the notebook labeled The Soup Protocol. August 2020, Casino 2, they weren't allowed to serve drinks unless the guest ordered food, so the entire local squad was ordering $2 bowls of soup just to get a beer.
A logical bypass of a localized pandemic-era regulation. It created a fascinating secondary market for unconsumed soup.
It's a total geography giveaway. I'm cross-referencing state-mandated food and beverage orders from that month. Between this and your Rust Belt comment, the search for Casino 2 is narrowing down.
I am simply documenting the data, Katie. Your Excelsior Brigade aspirations do not change the fact that TRG was struggling during this period. July 2020 was, as he described it, a slog.
It was, but he still won the month. He's teaching us that you don't have to win every day to win the transaction. And Kyle, we finally get the win stack lesson. I've been waiting for the physical mechanics of the chip stacking protocol.
It is a fundamental money management tactic. Systems are stable. Let's execute the audit.
Welcome back to the Advantage Playback. I'm Katie, currently looking for 2020 soup menus online, and across from me is the man who already knows the answer but refuses to help, the architect, Kyle.
The data is the only authority. Today we audit episode 8, the end of month 2, free money and Jedi mind tricks.
All right, Kyle, before we dive into the data, we have to acknowledge the 2020 format. TRG didn't have the battle plan title back then, but he was already laying out the tactical vectors for the session right at the top.
Affirmative. The structure was less formalized, but the logic was consistent. For our audit purposes, we are following 4 primary zones of engagement. Target 1, the rookie protocol. TRG response to Andre, a first-time player overwhelmed by the scale of the game. Target 2, the soup logic. A travel report from Casino 2 where we analyze the regulatory bypasses of August 2020. Target 3, the monthly valuation. Auditing the win the month philosophy by reviewing the July 2020 P&L and comp extraction. Target 4, Casino Wisdom number 60. The mechanics of the win stack, a physical money management tactic. Target 5, the Jedi mind trick, a VIP lounge story involving a $1,000 exit fee and a security standoff.
I love that he calls it eating the elephant. It's such a vibe for anyone who's ever walked into a casino for the first time and just frozen.
It is a study in incremental ingestion. The rookie, Andre, was attempting to process 30 years of TRG's experience in a single binge listening session.
Poor Andre. I've been there. My notebook was just a mess of concepts and wisdoms until I realized TRG's dad was right. You can't finish the elephant in one bite.
Let's move into the first tactical vector. We need to audit TRG's advice on breaking the casino experience into manageable pieces, specifically the visit without money protocol.
All right, Kyle, let's talk about Andre. Poor guy is binging the show and feels like he's trying to swallow the whole casino industry at once. I felt for him when he capitalized a lot in his email.
Andre's error was attempt speed. TRG spent over 30 years accumulating this data. Andre tried to ingest it in 15-minute blocks. It is a classic case of system overload.
But TRG's advice was so grounded. He used his dad's elephant metaphor. If you're new, don't try to do it all at once. You take small bites.
He outlined a specific reconnaissance protocol for rookies that I find mathematically elegant in its risk aversion. Step 1, park the car, but leave any meaningful bankroll inside.
It's so smart. You walk in with just enough for a coffee. You find a baccarat table because, let's face it, blackjack is intimidating for a first-timer. And you just lurk. You watch the flow, you see the dealer mechanics, and you don't risk a single dime.
Correct. He also suggested the virtual simulation. Use a mobile app to play baccarat with imaginary currency until the betting strategy becomes a reflex rather than a calculation.
And the best part of the mission? You hit the Players Club, get your rewards card, and if they give you free slot play, you play it and leave.
At that point, the transaction is a total success. The player has rewards infrastructure for the next visit and has exited the casino without a loss. As TRG noted, many seasoned gamblers struggle to achieve that specific outcome.
I also loved the reminder that mistakes aren't fatal. As long as you aren't using the rent money or the bill money, a mistake is just a data point to learn from.
Affirmative. Discipline is the only armor against the math. Now, speaking of discipline, let's talk about that soup at Casino 2.
Okay, Kyle, I have my 2020 regulatory map out and I am circling the soup and pretzel zones. TRG said Casino 2 was under a new order. Bars closed unless they serve food, and you must order a food item to get a drink.
A fascinating legislative anomaly. The data shows the squad was utilizing a $2 soup strategy at the food court just to obtain an adult beverage.
Exactly. And the sports bar was even better. As long as a pretzel with cheese sauce was on the bill, the drinks kept flowing. Kyle, I'm cross-referencing these specific pretzel-to-pint ratios with regional pandemic mandates. We are getting so close to naming Casino 2.
Focus on the transaction, Katie. While the regulations were amusing, the bankroll was under pressure. TRG noted that they lost and spent a little more than a day's pay on this trip.
Yeah, Mrs. TRG was really feeling the slog. Losing is never fun, but TRG used that Boardwalk Empire reference to remind her and us that you have to learn to handle the rough patches without reacting negatively. No one likes to lose, but we all have to learn sometime.
Affirmative. Discipline during a rough patch is what separates an operator from a relish-the-action gambler like Arnold Rothstein.
But look at the bright side. The hotel offers are finally coming online. TRG got a postcard for 2 free weekday nights and weekend discounts.
It is a critical transition in the long game. Even if the gambling was tough, the property is beginning to see him as a player worth incentivizing. He is neutralizing his costs through future comps, which leads us directly into the July results audit.
Okay, Kyle, let's talk about the July 2020 wrap-up. TRG called it a slog, and honestly, listening to him, he sounded almost grumpy about winning.
It is a classic high-standard anomaly. TRG finished the month up nearly 4 days' pay. However, a significant portion of that win came from a solo slot session rather than his primary table systems. To an architect, a win via a slot machine is a variance-driven outlier rather than a verified system success.
I get that, but he was really wrestling with his privilege. He's sitting there winning money, staying in discounted hotels, and eating out while the rest of the world, especially in places like Atlantic City, couldn't even eat or drink inside a building.
He was aware of the transactional contrast. While others were hiding in hotel rooms with takeout, he was successfully executing the long game. But the audit of the value stack for July is where the real math is. The scavenged value, he pulled in 6 scratch-off tickets, $40 in free play, and $210 in match play. The logistics offset, he secured $90 in Visa and gas gift cards, plus 5 discounted and 2 fully comped hotel nights. The final tally, even with the expenses of traveling during a pandemic, the net result was positive.
He's proving the core concept. Win the month, not the day. You keep the losses small so that even a slog of a month is made up for by the pile of comps and gifts.
Correct. He wasn't happy because he didn't crush the house, but he was disciplined enough to ensure he didn't lose the transaction.
Kyle, Casino Wisdom number 60. Have a play stack. We are finally at the mechanics of the stack. This isn't just about being neat. TRG is describing a literal abacus on the table.
Correct. It is a physical money management tactic designed to neutralize emotional bias. Most players utilize the heap, a disorganized pile of chips that obscures the reality of their bankroll. TRG's system creates a dual vector data set, the play stack and the win stack.
Break it down for the squad. He buys in for $100 using $10 units. He doesn't just put them in a pile. He makes 2 stacks of 10 chips on his left. That is the engine of the session.
Precisely. Every win is physically moved several inches away to start the win stack. If he loses and has to utilize a martingale bet, he pulls from the play stack. If he wins that recovery bet, he refills the play stack to its original 10 units, and the excess, the profit, moves to the win stack.
And here is the Jedi part, the house money press. If he's on a progressive run, he'll take 2 chips from the play stack and steal 1 from the win stack to push the bet.
It is a psychological safeguard. By wagering money he didn't have when he sat down, he is pressing the advantage without increasing his original buy-in risk.
But the real value is the at-a-glance audit. He mentioned feeling like he was getting beat up, but a quick glance showed his play stack was only short 3 chips, while his win stack had 12.
The physical organization corrected the emotional misinterpretation of the data. The stacks told him he was fine when his brain told him he was failing. It is a tactical interface that keeps the operator informed in real time.
It's always fun to be back in the lounge. I noticed the remodel, Kyle. Beer and wine on the left, adult beverages in the back, and the local handcrafted sodas for the artisanal crowd on the right. It's still self-serve, but the vibe is definitely changing.
The reorganization is efficient, though I am more interested in the 2020 tactical anomaly TRG just described. He was approached at 2 a.m. by a stranger in the high-limit room and asked, "How much for you to go ahead and just leave now?"
And TRG, being the witty operator he is, threw out a ridiculous number, $1,000. He thought he was being a jerk, but the guy just reached into his pocket and handed him an orange $1,000 chip.
It was a high-value transaction with zero variance. TRG gave up a seat for a guaranteed $1,000. But the audit of his Jedi powers is where the data gets unconventional.
Oh, the security guard. He had to take all the alcohol after last call.
As TRG was walking off the floor with the drink, a guard tried to stop him. TRG literally did the hand wave and said, "There's no alcohol in this glass," and the guard just let him go.
I can see TRG doing that. Just all confidence and attitude. Or maybe he did have Jedi powers.
He successfully executed a mind trick, though his attempt to levitate rocks in his hotel room the next morning was a complete system failure.
I died laughing at that. But the real FRED level intel came the next day when he talked to the pit boss. It turns out that player who paid TRG to leave was up $1.5 million on the casino. He was betting $15,000 a hand and standing on a 2-card 6 because he felt a 9 was coming.
A total disregard for basic strategy, yet he was crushing the house math through pure volatility. It proves that even the most chaotic transaction can be profitable if the bankroll is large enough.
Your little one grew 3 inches overnight. Adorable. Also, expensive. Sell their pint-sized pieces on Depop and list them in minutes with no selling fees. Because somewhere, a dad refuses to pay full price for the clothes his kids will outgrow tomorrow. And he's ready to buy your son's entire wardrobe right now. Consider your future growth spurt budget secured. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste. Payment processing fees and boosting fees still apply. See website for details.
This episode is brought to you by FX's Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. Join host Evan Ross Katz on the official podcast for FX's new series, Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, and go behind the scenes with cast and special guests, featuring Sarah Pigeon, Paul Anthony Kelly, Grace Gummer, and Naomi Watts. FX's Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Well, TRG learned his lesson. Next time, he's asking for $2,000. But Kyle, can we talk about that 2020 outro? It was a bit rough.
It was statistically unoptimized. He spent a significant amount of time providing email addresses and asking for family referrals. It lacked the ironclad structural integrity we utilize in 2026.
It was definitely a rambling exit. Good thing we're here to tighten the loop.
The engine is stable, and the logic is verified. From the $2 soup at Casino 2 to the $1,000 Jedi mind trick, the plan is clear. As the Great One always says, the house owns the math, we own the transaction.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit your state-specific helpline. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results.
2026 Volcanic Dingo LLC. All rights reserved. Execute the plan, trust the core concepts, stay out of the noise, and always spell concepts with a K.
I hope you understand. He was born a ramblin' man. Goodbye, everyone.